Throughout history, few creatures have captured the imagination quite like the basilisk. Known as the king of serpents, the basilisk's legend is as ancient as it is terrifying. But where did this myth originate, and how did it evolve over time? Our journey begins in the world of Greco-Roman antiquity. The basilisk first slithered into history through the writings of Pliny the Elder, a Roman author and natural philosopher. In his encyclopedic work, Natural History, written in the 1st century AD, Pliny describes the basilisk as a small, venomous snake capable of killing with just a glance or a breath. According to Pliny, the basilisk was born from the egg of a serpent, hatched by a toad under the influence of the stars. This creature was not only feared for its deadly gaze, but also revered as a symbol of ultimate power and danger. In ancient societies, the basilisk embodied the very essence of lethal potential, often used as a metaphor for untamable forces of nature. The basilisk's reputation spread throughout the ancient world, where it became intertwined with religious and cultural beliefs. In some regions, it was even believed that the basilisk's presence could drive away evil spirits, making it both a feared and protective symbol. But while the basilisk was known for its deadly nature, it was also seen as a creature of paradox. Its power to kill with a glance made it both feared and revered, a creature that could both harm and protect. This duality is what made the basilisk such a compelling symbol in ancient cultures. Over time, the basilisk's legend would evolve, influenced by the religious and cultural shifts of the societies that encountered it. But its origins, rooted in the fears and beliefs of the ancient world, set the stage for the myth that would continue to grow and transform for centuries. As centuries passed, the legend of the basilisk continued to evolve, shaped by the shifting tides of history. From the ancient world to the Middle Ages, the basilisk's terrifying reputation grew, fueled by new interpretations and cultural influences. With the rise of Christianity, the basilisk's image took on new significance. No longer just a creature of natural fear, it became a symbol of ultimate evil. Early Christian writers and theologians saw the basilisk as a representation of sin, temptation, and the devil himself. In Christian symbolism, the basilisk's deadly gaze was likened to the destructive power of sin, capable of corrupting the soul with just a single glance. This new interpretation cemented the basilisk's place not just as a creature of legend, but as a moral warning. During the medieval period, the basilisk underwent yet another transformation. This era was rich in bestiaries, illustrated collections of animals both real and imagined. Here, the basilisk was often depicted as a hybrid creature, merging elements of a serpent with those of a rooster, leading to its frequent confusion with the cockatrice. The medieval basilisk was not just a snake, but a monstrous fusion of fearsome traits. It retained its lethal gaze and venomous breath, but now, with the addition of a rooster's head, it became an even more bizarre and terrifying figure. The hybridization with the cockatrice also introduced the idea that a basilisk could be born from an egg laid by a rooster and incubated by a toad. This new form of the basilisk was a reflection of medieval society's fears and superstitions. The creature became a symbol not just of physical danger, but of moral and spiritual peril. It was a cautionary tale, a reminder of the consequences of straying from the righteous path. In the hands of medieval artists and writers, the basilisk became a vessel for expressing complex ideas about power, corruption, and the eternal battle between good and evil. Its evolution from a simple serpent to a complex symbol of terror mirrored the evolving fears and beliefs of the time. Yet, despite these transformations, one thing remained constant. The basilisk was always a creature to be feared. Whether as a symbol of sin, a monstrous hybrid, or a creature of myth, it represented the dangers that lurked in the world and within the human heart. As the centuries progressed, the basilisk legend spread far and wide, weaving itself into the fabric of European folklore. No longer confined to the pages of ancient texts or the minds of medieval scholars, the basilisk became a creature of local legend, feared and revered in equal measure. In many regions, the basilisk became more than just a myth, it was a presence that haunted the imagination of local communities. Tales of basilisk sightings were passed down through generations, each story more terrifying than the last. In these tales, the basilisk was often depicted as lurking in dark, forgotten places, ancient ruins, deep forests, or abandoned wells. These local legends varied from place to place, but they shared common themes. The basilisk's deadly gaze and venomous breath were always central to its fearsome reputation. Some stories even claim that the mere sight of the creature could turn a person to stone. In others, it was said that only a mirror or the crowing of a rooster could defeat this formidable foe. As trade and travel increased, so did the spread of the basilisk legend. Merchants, travelers, and soldiers carried tales of the basilisk across borders, adding new layers to the myth with each retelling. In some regions, the basilisk was believed to guard hidden treasures, luring the brave and the foolish into its deadly lair. The basilisk's legend was so pervasive that it began to appear alongside other legendary creatures in folklore collections. In some tales, it was even linked with dragons, as both creatures were seen as embodiments of chaos and destruction. With the advent of the Renaissance and the Enlightenment, the basilisk began to fade from the collective consciousness as a real threat, but it never truly disappeared. Instead, it found new life in literature, art, and eventually popular culture. Writers and artists continued to draw upon the basilisk's fearsome reputation, using it as a symbol of danger, power, and the unknown. From the pages of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, where the basilisk slithers through the hidden chambers of Hogwarts, to the dark fantasy worlds of video games and movies, the basilisk remains an enduring symbol of fear and fascination. Its legacy has transcended time, adapting to the imaginations of each new generation. But why does the basilisk continue to captivate us? Perhaps it's the creature's duality of being both feared and revered, a symbol of ultimate power and the dangers that lie in the unknown. Or perhaps it's the timeless nature of the myth itself, a story that speaks to our deepest fears and our endless curiosity about the world around us. In the dark and dangerous world of The Witcher, monsters are as varied as they are terrifying. Among these creatures is the basilisk, a beast that strikes fear into the hearts of those who dare to face it. But how does this creature of legend fit into the rich lore of the Witcher universe? The basilisk in The Witcher is a formidable foe, but it differs in many ways from the traditional myth. In the world of Geralt of Rivia, basilisks are large, winged reptiles more akin to a dragon than the snake-like or rooster-headed creatures of legend. They possess deadly claws, sharp beaks, and a venomous bite that can kill you. In the Witcher games, basilisks are depicted as powerful and aggressive predators, often found in remote and dangerous areas. They are known for their incredible speed and agility, making them a challenging opponent even for experienced Witchers. Unlike the basilisk of ancient lore, which could kill with a glance, the basilisk in The Witcher relies on its physical prowess and venom to defeat its prey. The Bestiary entries in the Witcher games provide a glimpse into the lore surrounding these creatures. They describe basilisks as cunning hunters, capable of ambushing their prey with deadly precision. While they don't turn their victims to stone with a mere gaze, they are no less dangerous. The game's lore suggests that basilisks were once more common in the world, but their numbers have dwindled due to the efforts of Witchers and the encroachment of human civilization. In the Witcher TV series, while basilisks are mentioned, their on-screen portrayal remains elusive. This allows the creature to maintain a sense of mystery and terror, leaving much to the imagination of the audience. The TV series focuses on the more human aspects of monster hunting, but the presence of basilisks in the lore adds depth to the world, reminding us of the constant threat that lurks just beyond the safety of the towns and villages. The basilisk's design in The Witcher draws inspiration from various sources, blending elements of dragons, birds of prey, and reptiles to create a creature that feels both familiar and alien. This design choice reflects the series' overall approach to monster creation, where mythological creatures are reimagined to fit the gritty medieval world of The Witcher. But beyond its fearsome appearance, the basilisk in The Witcher serves as a reminder of the world's harsh realities. For Geralt and other Witchers, hunting these creatures is a necessary but dangerous task, one that highlights the thin line between survival and death in this unforgiving world. The basilisk, like many monsters in The Witcher, is not inherently evil, but a product of a world where nature can be as deadly as any curse or spell. As we've journeyed through the history of the basilisk, from its origins in ancient legend to its reimagining in modern fantasy, one thing has become clear. The basilisk is a creature that transcends time and culture, continuing to fascinate and terrify us in equal measure. From the deadly serpent described by Pliny the Elder to the hybrid monster of medieval bestiaries, the basilisk has been a symbol of fear, power, and the unknown. Its evolution through the ages reflects humanity's changing relationship with nature, the supernatural, and the concept of evil. In folklore, the basilisk became a symbol of the dangers lurking in the shadows, a creature of myth that embodied the fears of a world where the line between reality and superstition was often blurred. It was both a cautionary tale and a reminder of the mysterious forces that shape the world. But even as our understanding of the natural world grew, the basilisk remained a potent symbol in popular culture. From literature to film and video games, the basilisk continues to captivate audiences with its blend of myth and menace. Whether as a deadly foe in The Witcher or a hidden terror in Harry Potter, the basilisk's legacy endures. Why does the basilisk still resonate with us today? Perhaps it's the creature's embodiment of our deepest fears, the unknown, the uncontrollable, the deadly. Or maybe it's the allure of a creature that, despite its many forms, remains a constant symbol of the power and danger that lie just beyond our understanding. The basilisk, in all its forms, reminds us of the timeless power of myth. It shows us how stories evolve, how symbols adapt to new contexts, and how our imaginations can transform even the most terrifying creatures into something that speaks to our shared human experience. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the legend of the basilisk. As we've seen, this creature is more than just a monster. It's a symbol, a story, and a piece of our collective mythology. Whether in ancient texts or modern fantasy, the basilisk will continue to haunt and inspire us for generations to come. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history of the basilisk, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content exploring the myths and legends that shape our world. And as always, stay curious, stay adventurous, and beware of what lies just beyond the edge of the known.